Okay, so I'm about to put something on my French truck made by these folks called Luke's Links. That's either backwards or forwards, I don't know which. To put them in, you take one that's all busted up like this guy is down here. I'll show you a picture of it that I took static. And you grind off the top and you knock out the pieces. So, contact. Okay, so this battery kind of sucks. We're going to get one that's got some snaz to it. Hold on a minute. People keep asking me why I'm switching to the 20 volt stuff, and it's because I can get this big butt kicking pack on the back of an 18 volt tool. Okay, so to do this right, what you got to do is go until you can see the line around there. I think I'm going to pull the focus in even closer. Focus. Alright, let's get this adjusted a little bit more in line with what I want to see. Yes, there we go. Focus, you fazanka. Alright. So I've ground it. It's got a little bit of a lip on the edge. That's not a problem. I'm going to flip it over, knock this thing on out. All the pieces will come out of the guts of the original piece. Now the trick with these is you cannot go so far that you cannot use the original guts. Luke's Links require that you have the internal components. So, hang on. Get aim straight. Being a little bit of a noik. It should go. Get laid on a slightly closed. And I'm going to get a much bigger hammer. Where's my 4-pound whacker? This one's just old, but what normally fails in these things, if it isn't the boot that's split right there, it's hard to see. Let me adjust up a hair. That should make it a little easier to see what I'm whacking on. That's in the top of the screen, isn't it? How about now? That's abundantly over clear, isn't it? Come on, guys, give me a good picture. There. It's off to the side, but you can still see it. What normally fails is a boot or the spring in the back of it. It's acting like I ain't got enough off there. We'll take a little bit more. Well, it looks like we're going to have to do the full out press thing. So the press thing is you get a socket, in this case yonder 3/4 inch socket, wrap it around that guy. Man, I hope this thing's long enough to let me do this. I don't want to have to get the whole press out. But I don't think it's going to let me. No. Well, it'll keep the thing from trying to walk away on you. And this particular vise has a couple of bolt holes where it sets on the head for, or excuse me, the blades here, the plates. So now I'm going to try to gently squeeze. Yeah, there she goes. Wow, my, that is going to fight. It's cracked, but it ain't loose. Argumentative little prick. That didn't want to come out either, just being moody about it. Enjoys small amounts of bashing. Let's see if we can get this guy to come loose. My 4-pound hammer. There. Doing things over here in the background you can't see. My, they don't want to. That is not in the mood at all. Although, interestingly enough, I'm beating on the other end of this. Have a look at what fell out over here. Little bastard. Okay, as usual, if you look at this, look at the nubbin, it's covered with mud. Nasty looking grease. Just really gross. You want to check the ball for wear, but if you look at it real close, you'll see there's a wear band on it. I'm going to hold it up in front of the camera, but you can see the band of wear, but it's not out of round, it hasn't got grooves in it, so it's still completely viable. Even if it is a little on the nasty looking side. I got to grind a tip off of this to make it right. And in the past it's been hit real hard on the top, so I grind it off so that end isn't messed up. Now what fails in these things is always a question. Why we have so much trouble with the other ones. These older Dodges have a drag link and a I don't know what the proper term for it is. I'm going to sound like an idiot here. But they have a link across that holds the suspension in line with the truck. And inside of that suspension is that spring. Inside of those ball joints. The spring wears out. Goes flat, doesn't have any tension on it after it's been mashed about a gazillion times. And you end up with a weak system that won't hold right. So now, what LuxLinx does is it uses the original pieces from inside there. Okay. So the original bits will still do the job quite nicely.
What are you doing, Daddy?
I'm cleaning up something from Mr. Bill's truck.
Oh, okay.
Why?
I was just wondering.
I'm working, sweetheart.
Okay.
I'm trying to get a whole lot of stuff fixed.
Okay. I'm gonna go back.
Yes, dear. So I'm going to get the grunge out of there. Brake cleaner, clean it up, soften it a little bit. Get it all nice and clean. As usual. Watch out, since the grinding, these sharp little metal bits in there that might want to bite you. Still feel like I'm not getting a good picture of that. Now you get a picture of the garbage can. Okay. Come here. Get you in the middle of the picture. There we go. Of course, puts my fat butt in the middle of the picture too, but who cares? Okay. There's a wear surface machine down in there. And you want to get it nice and clean. You want the ball joint nice and clean. You're going to put fresh grease everywhere, of course. But now that you got that, and you got this nice and clean, hold on to that up. Yeah, we'll just drop it in the dirt again. That's what we do. Okay. Now my friends had these LuxLinx sitting around for a while, so there may be a tiny bit of rust here and there. Again, we live in the South. It tends to get rusty. Rustic. So, LuxLinx is basically this outside clamp that you see here. Focus. It goes on here, if it can. Now, what you'll see is it's not wanting to get on there. Okay, I can't quite get it fit. Now there will be, when I slide it on, slop to where it moves up and down, but I have to be able to at least get it on. And it feels like it wants just a hair ground off of it. So we're going to do that. Mostly it's out the back over here that you got to do it. See, now it slides right on there.
Huh?
Pardon me, dear, what?
I need a rag.
Well, you have to come over here, and you're plenty tall enough to get to them.
Oh well. This sucks.
What?
I'm wearing socks.
Why are you in your socks?
I don't know.
What's in there? What do you got all over your hands?
Dirt.
Right. Well, we got to learn somehow.
Somehow. Thank you.
Yes, dear. Okay. It's nice and clean now.
Yep, bye-bye.
Now, what I need to do is fit this guy over, and we're going to build a little stack. You can't put the ball joint in first. It has to come after the fact. So now that that's in place, I'm going to grease it up. And I'm going to drop it in the socket. Okay, and get it nice and greasy in there. Okay. Inside of here, you'll have the instructions on what the stack is supposed to look like. But it's pretty straightforward. There will be in the package several bits and pieces. There will be a backwasher that's shaped to ride on the ball. Okay, so that goes on the ball. There will be a sealing washer. Okay. Yeah, let's get the bits. So there'll be these little tiny washers like this, thin little things. What they do is they're shims for later in life on these joints. There's 3 of them. There'll be a wide flat washer. The hole in the middle allows the grease to get through. There'll be this nylon plastic spring made out of, well, it's milled nylon. Unlike the steel, this thing just keeps on holding. Okay, so now I put the flat washer in there, spring behind it, and this rubber donut right here, let's get that rubber donut in the picture, goes around the spring, aka the piece of nylon, and then you screw in the top of this. You may find yourself needing the flat washers, but you shouldn't have to. Now, on the back of these things, I know I'm working my way down in there, they are rather nicely built because they're milled so that a socket wrench will work in them. Or excuse me, a ratchet wrench. Which I'm getting right now. I believe it's 3/8, but I could be wrong. But we'll get them both. So if when I get the wrong size, well, 1/2 inch I think is what it is. Okay, so there are 3 holes drilled through the back here. We're going to have to get a cotter key through that. So you want to take it down. It is 1/2 inch, by the way. Take it down until it's tight. A little bit further. Yeah, that's too loose. I'm going to go on around until I get to the next set of holes. Yeah, now it doesn't want to move. Just enough that it's stiff, but not killer. There'll be a cotter key in the kit, like so. And you just install that in there. And I need a pair of pliers to do that too. Actually, I can do it with this thing. This will work. Hammer fool. So what I'm going to want to do is I want to set this, spread the cotter key apart. Now, what I'm going to do is lock it into the corner, which gives it a shape that generally will make it stay put no matter what happens. Then I'll take the other half and I'll give it the same sort of locking move to spread it. So that the thing can't back up. The final piece is there's a Zerk fitting that goes in here that needs to be put in very carefully. As usual, you don't want to over tighten these things. They will shear off. And it'd help if I could thread it, but I never was that good with plastic gloves on my fingers. Alright, so I need a little bit of 1/4 inchery here. Okay. Not big enough. Big enough. I'll take it up. Feels about tight enough. Now, get this guy out. Give her a little shot of Go Juice here. Another shot. I see it squeezing out. Don't quite yet. Again. There we go. Now we got a bloom of it. Okay. And that's really all there is to a Luke's Link. That easy. There's not much to it. And they just generally don't wear. They're exceptionally nice for these things. Okay, now the last piece of this is that big rubber washer. Goes down here and becomes the grease seal for the front side. So when you pull it up, it keeps greased out of it. Now, lather, rinse, repeat. Got to do the other end. I remember to stick the nut on there so I don't lose it. Pick it out, turn it around. This one's going to be a little crankier to deal with. What he's done is guard that up a little bit. Okay, so it's in there. Now we just grind it off. Okay, now I'll take the ball peen hammer and give her a couple of licks. Yeah, and the line's coming loose. You can see it popping and some grease popping out. Okay. Now, ooh, that is just loose in there. There's water up in that beast. I ended up pulling it out with the shock absorber thingy on it, the damper for the steering, and that has not worked out real well as far as being able to keep my hands on it. Ah, miserable. Knock it a little bit. So let's get it where I can hold it that way. Let's get it in that nubbin, which makes it a little bit easier to handle. Get my hands right. Come on. Yeah, it's gonna be moody. Good enough. Yeah, it should be. It certainly looks like it's the right size. Ah, miserable. Trying backwards? Yeah, we can. Okay, put a little pressure on it. Hit it. Yeah, it's just going to be an evil beast. They often are. This is the hardest part of the whole job, getting that thing loose. Let's see. That did it. A coin-sized piece of steel flying around here somewhere. Okay. That don't want to come out. Here it comes. There's the ball. It's a much better looking ball than the other one. Get this screw head off there. Pull out. This one actually has grease on it compared to the other one. Then the other one's boot was completely split. And if you look at this ball, it's much more shiny, not quite as rusty in the back. Alright, focus. Nice clean looking ball. Alright, so now we clean it out again. And we bust that off. So I need the shield off there. There's that. Stick this down through there. That's a majority of the grease out of it. Get the most of it clean. Brake cleaner on it. Shove enough of that rag in there. We can rotate it to clean it. Again, remember there's sharp metal edges on the back of this thing. It will hurt. It has no sense of humor and it just laughs like crazy when it gets you. Okay, nice and clean. Grease it up, put it back in there. Okay, greasy little monster. Gets dropped in. You run it around in the grease. That's cool. Open up the next box. We just put in all the pieces again. And here I am, tearing the box open. And this one's like the other one, rusty on the top. It's been sitting outside too long. I got ahead of myself. That really sucked. Anybody who's watching is probably laughing their ass off at me being an idiot. Well, sometimes idiots have ways. Oh my. This is one of the unfriendly ones. Okay, so back to square one. So, here's one of the features you're going to run into. These little buggers come with an added little surprise. Some of the joints you put them in they're too wide. You'll find Yeah, I'm going to have to degrease it and re-clean it again, but again, that's minor. But here's the thing. The width of the joint here is what's stopping it. There's flash from when these things were forged that's sticking out. I got to take it off of both sides before the joint's going to go in right. Alright, let's see if that's enough. It may not be. It's close, but that's not quite where I want it. And actually where I need it now, it's going to sound silly, but it's out here. I gotta do the outside edge. The flash is even worse out there. Yeah, it doesn't come loose from the clampy. Okay, handle it out the way. And don't worry, it doesn't weaken it enough to be a problem. They actually do work. Okay, there we go. I'm now looking inside of it at nearly the back edge, and that's what I want. Although I may want a little bit more. What do you think? Still feels like it's a bit. Yeah, that's it. That was the last of what I needed. Right there. That's enough. Cool. Alright. So, let me get the other can of brake cleaner goop. Where's the car cleaner or something like that over here? Put that over here. So that there. Okay. I'll make sure I don't have any metal frag Newtons all over it. Okay. Alright, greasing it again. Alright. And down the chute we go. Alright. And into the bag of partsies. Get this put together, and if it ain't still ain't raining out there, even though they're predicting lots of nasty weather today, I will get my butt back out there and get all this steering stuff put in so I don't have to lay in the snow the next couple of days when we get to that. Yeah, little molding pieces on there. Alright, there we go. Washer, bit in the piece, springy. spring thingy. And then just gonna screw it on. Good. I'll take it up. A little bit more. Take it half a turn more. Yeah, it feels like it right there. Okay. Carter McKee. Do right there. This little guy. Come here, little guy. Go ahead and put that in. Feels about right. Busy with the crank. Up gun. There we go. See grease whipping out. Alright. And then it needs its rubber seal. And its bolt. Wherever the heck the bolt got to. There it is. Whoop! Drop it on the ground. And with that, we got her done. Now I just gotta go put it back in the truck. Here we go.